Welcome to Korean Kontext, a behind-the-scenes conversation with the scholars, artists and opinion makers that bridge our two worlds. My name's Chad O'Carroll and I'll be your host today. In this episode we spoke to Korean-American actor Steven Yeun. Making his fame in AMC's series The Walking Dead, I spoke to Steven over Skype about his identity as a Korean-American, his role in the series and how he initially explained it to his parents, and some of his favourite experiences in his acting career. I started my chat with Steve by asking him about how he became inspired to start a career in acting.
Well, it all kind of started in college. I had just I just started school, and I remember walking in our freshman orientation, we had this group called Monkapult at our school, which is our school's improv group, our long-form improv group, and I went to go watch it with my friend, and I was just blown away, and I just remember thinking, I want to do that so bad, just for fun. And I just dipped my foot in, got into it, and at school, I went to a small liberal arts school. I went to Kalamazoo College, and so once you kind of get into one sector of that school, they kind of rope you in because they need as many people as they can get. And so I just had a lot of encouragement, and I really enjoyed it. Just did it for fun, and then it just turned into a career later on, which was pretty crazy.
So was there any particular individual there that got your interest, or was it just a general thing, really?
Yeah, I mean, all the faculty were so fantastic. Todd Espeland taught me how to. I took my first acting class with him. I took my first improv class with Ed Menta, who was the head of the department, and he was my mentor there. And usually they tell you to not pursue acting. They tell you to maybe pursue more the academic side of it. And not to say they outright said like, "Oh, hey, Steven, you should really consider acting." But they were like, if you really enjoy it, you're not bad at it. So I just kind of followed through on that. It's a pretty big blessing. I don't know.
Yeah. So if you weren't acting now, like, what do you think you'd be doing?
God, I have no idea. I mean, I could have just gone the traditional route and applied for law school or med school. That was definitely going to happen. I had taken all the LSAT courses and the MCAT courses, and I was prepared to do that. But for some reason, there was just this overwhelming feeling that I really wanted to give this a shot, and I asked my parents if I could try this for a couple of years. And, going against the grain of traditional Korean American culture, they let me do it. They let me do it for 2 years. They were definitely worried, but they let me do it.
So you sort of had a 2-year time frame to give it a shot. Now, did you give it your all during this period, or were you still involved in other things? Because I've heard from people in the past that if you really want to succeed at something, you have to give it your all. And yeah, 2 years is, some might say, a quite short time period.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it really, my story really, affirms the fact that I'm very lucky, very blessed. Everything kind of happened really fast. I definitely did go full steam into it. I didn't, just to appease my parents. When I first moved to Chicago from Michigan, I got a job for this IT firm doing sales, and I don't know, I just have a type of personality where once I figure out that I don't really want to do something, I just don't do it, which might just be lazy. But
you're a good salesman, yeah?
No, horrible, really bad. I don't know how they hired me, but yeah, I mean, it was what it was. I did that for about the first 3 months, and then I just dove headfirst into theater in Chicago and kept going from there.
So you mentioned your parents there, having parents that are first generation Korean Americans. Do you find you're personally you relate more to Korea or United States?
I'm definitely, at the end of the day, an American. I think I identify completely American, but I definitely still hold on to my roots. I was born in Korea. I moved when I was 5, and my parents and I still only speak in Korean. And when I go home, it's weird because it's not fully Korean even at home, because my parents are trapped in the time frame that they immigrated, 1980s, and I don't think they're not even Korean anymore. I mean, not as Korean as Korean people are in Korea, but I love my heritage. My Korean is all right. I love our food. I love the great things about our culture. But at the end of the day, I'm definitely American.
Right. And do you think that being of Korean American heritage has affected your career in any way, or given rise to certain opportunities you might not have otherwise got?
Yeah, I definitely have to say it probably opened doors a little bit quicker, in the sense that it sounds opposite, but it's opened doors quicker in that America does want Asian Americans in the media. Sometimes it's not in the way that we want it, and that's on both ends to change that, to make sure that Asian Americans don't seem like foreigners, that they're just as American as everybody else. But I think if you break it down to a business thing, which entertainment definitely can be broken down into, Asians live here as well, and they spend a lot of money as well. So if that's the case, why not have Asian representation? And I think Hollywood is hungry to find Asian Americans, and theater is hungry to find Asian Americans. It's just, maybe, I don't really know. I've thought about it, and it could be because, we don't have as many generations here as other cultures, so we haven't really, the whole second generation, you got to be a doctor, lawyer, something successful thing, instead of actually letting kids get into theater and acting. So it helps, but it hurts at the same time. I hope that answered that.
And did you have any role models growing up while you were an actor, perhaps Korean American actors, or?
Yeah, I don't know if I had any direct Korean American role models. I definitely look up to everyone that came into this before me. I mean, they had a tough road. John Cho was doing really well when I was starting out, and that was great. I think for me, my influences were more people that were just good at what they're doing. Steve Carell, I really looked up to. A lot of actors out there. I remember mentioning. I think I was really set on Barry Pepper becoming a really good influence of mine, but more along the way of how he got navigated through Hollywood. I don't think many people know who he is, but he works a lot and he's really talented, and that's a great thing to have.
Yeah. And do you think over the years their perception of Korean or Asian actors has changed in the United States?
I think it's slowly changing. I think there are roles that are out there that help to change that perception. I'm very fortunate to play something that isn't very stereotypical. I don't know if that is going to be like a hard changing trend right now, but these are small steps that are making big waves, and hopefully 5-10 years from now we won't be having that many conversations about whether Asian Americans can make it in this industry or not.
Yeah, and so just tell us a little bit about your character, just for listeners, for example, who aren't familiar with The Walking Dead.
Sure, yeah. So I play a character named Glenn, and he is Korean American. The show is based on the fact that these survivors are surviving a zombie apocalypse, and so you find Glenn part of this group, and he's kind of the go-to guy in terms of getting tasks done, dangerous tasks like going into the city to scavenge for supplies. And he's a young kid, didn't have much going for him in the past. He was delivering pizzas or something, and I think his mentality was, I want to make something of myself, so I will put myself in dangerous situations, because if I die, then I get to become a hero or die a martyr. I don't think he wants to die, but he's definitely trying to make up for some past things that he had gone through, and he starts to evolve from a child, in a way, from a kid, a boy, into a man, and you get to see that throughout the second season as well.
Nice. I understand that, like, this character, you've got some fans out there, and I read recently one of them, waited all day to spot you in a cafe out in Korea.
Yeah.
Being that Koreans are very proud if there's a Korean actor in a TV show or movie. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about sometimes being characterized, first and foremost as a Korean actor in that kind of respect?
I haven't really. I mean, I guess that is definitely something that's there. I don't know if people have been outwardly referring to me being Korean as an actor. That's definitely something that you can't ignore. But in terms of Korea and how they perceive this, it's really great. When I was there was a lot of love, a lot of just really kind words, and people were just really kind to me and nice. So I can't be more thankful. It's great to have a job in America. It's great to do something that I love, and then it's also great to make people proud that somebody of their own culture has been in a fortunate position. So,
do you feel any pressure from that at all?
I try not to think about that. I think if you give into that, it can be dangerous. I definitely don't see myself as someone who can put Asian America on my back and do anything. I just kind of look at myself as an individual, and if I can do things that help our cause through whatever I do, that's great. But I can only do as much as I can do for myself, and I don't think I think to put any more stress on that would probably be worse.
Yeah. And I also heard when you got the role of Glenn, and you told your family about it, your dad was so proud that he began crying.
Yeah.
Did you or your family have any inkling that the show would be as popular as it would back then?
No. I mean, I was just happy to have a job.
Right.
I was just happy to be able to give my parents, a little bit of relief after 4 years of putting them through so much worry. But to have it be what it is now is, I don't know, sometimes I still don't really fathom it and grasp it, but it's pretty great. It's pretty good.
And how did you explain the show to your parents?
I just said in Korea they don't really. They know what zombies are, but it's not something part of their zeitgeist. So I told my parents, I was like, "Oh, Mom, I'm on a I need to say zombie 텔레비 쇼 나온다고." And so I said that, and they're just, they didn't care. They're just like, "Good, you have a job. It's all good." I don't know if I've learned anything extra from my show. If anything, I've learned just